Hey guys, Chris here. This is the next video in my series on SpAIceRocks, the Match 3 game that I created nearly completely with AI. This next video is picking up on the coding section where I talk about how you can use Claude with Cline plugin for VS Code, as well as GithubCopilot and ChatGPT to add in some Unity editor scripts that can make your game development process a little easier, as well as how to generate README files and diagrams. Okay, so the game is coming out on January 20th, 2025, so please check it out on Steam. But let's jump right in and look at some coding opportunities. So what I'm going to do here is, here's my game, and I have a scenario where I need to be able to buy a little device for 10,000 credits. And I don't have the ability to do that yet, but I'll show you how it works when I run it. So what you're looking at is VS Code, and it's in my directory with the assets. And if you're not familiar, you can add scripts in your editor folder inside assets of your Unity project, and you can add cheats. And cheats will allow you to skip ahead in the game and do some things that you need to do without having to play the entire game through. So there's some different ones here for giving money and clearing boards and this kind of stuff. And what I've got on the left-hand side is I've got Cline, which is the plug-in for VS Code. It's free, and it's talking to Claude from Anthropic. And I'm going to ask it to give me 10,000 coins because I need to buy a little bomb that costs 10,000 coins. On the right-hand side, once I'm done with Cline, I'm going to do the same thing with Copilot, which is talking to ChatGPT. And I'm going to ask it to give me 10,001 coins, just so that you can be sure that we're seeing the right code run. So on the left, I'm going to run this one. And the workflow differences are that Cline looks at your entire directory, the assets directory. And it won't look in like necessarily the libraries directory, but it knows, it's savvy, really savvy with Unity. And it will look at everything in there. It may open up multiple files and that kind of stuff. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. It should all be self-contained inside the cheats file, which I have open up here just out of convenience. While we're waiting on Cline, for some reason it's been a little slow today. On the right-hand side, Copilot's workflow is a little different. It still likes to have you attach particular files that you want it to look at in its chat interface. So you can see right down here, cheats is actually sitting right there. And that, which is fine. You just have to add more if you need multiple files added. I like the fact that it lists in every directory, which is what Claude does. So here's it's saying, hey, can I read the file? And you can say yes. Now I have chosen for it to read the file, so I'm not really sure why it's to automatically approve reading the file. I'm not sure what it's asking, but whatever. Okay, here you see the diff experience where it's gone in and it's just added a chunk of code right there. So I haven't saved it yet. Okay, I'll have to hit the save button. But it adds in give 1,000 coins, which is perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So this is a one-shot thing. But keep in mind, it's a chat interface. If it doesn't work, you add in the errors that you find. You add in any questions you have. It's not quite working the way I need. What else do you suggest? And you can just cycle through it just like you can in a full chat on a web interface. I'm going to go ahead and save it, though, because this looks great. And I'm going to run it. Okay, that should be all it wants to do. Yes, it's going green. It's very happy. Task completed. And then again, that's a Cline plugin UI thing, which is great. Okay, so Unity is now loading in that new script. That's the editor script. And you see right down here in the assets directory, it's sitting right in here. Okay, there's my cheats file right there. So I'm going to look in the tools, look at my cheats. I now see the 10,000 coins. I'm going to run it. Right now I have no money. You'll see in the top left is 0 coins. Now the script doesn't change the UI. It could have been slick and made a call to make the UI change, but it didn't do that. And so right now I cannot buy this little bomb that I want to buy for $10,000. So that's okay. Maybe the cheats are just to get you to a certain point. If you want to be really slick, you'd improve it like that. I could go into Claude and do so, but for now, it's good enough for me. So I now have the money. And to be clear, I have the money. Let me just kind of move this around, move some rocks, and you can see now the UI is updated, okay? So I go in here, hit tools, I can buy it. Now I bought my bomb. So that's really the value in updating your editor tooling so that you can do some quick things like that. Okay, so that's all it took. Now I'm going to go back and back this back out because I want to do the same experiment with GitHub Copilot. So back over to my code, you now see the cheat that was added is gone. I'm going to do the same thing over here with GitHub. Copilot. So I'm just asking for 1001s. And notice here it says this is what I'm going to do for you. But it normally would just do it. So I don't really know. Sometimes the interface is a little different. I'm not really sure why. But let's say that we're going to just apply it in the editor. Normally it does it automatically. I still don't fully get the GitHub experience just yet, the Copilot experience just yet. But this is what it can automatically do sometimes. And notice that there's the diff experience there as you expect. It's got in 10,001. There's all the changes. And then it's in the code. So this also looks pretty good. Both of these I think will work pretty much one shot. There is some oddity with the experience though with Copilot. I'm going to close out Cline for a minute. If you look here, it's not quite clear that it actually has been applied. It's highlighted in the diff experience, which is great. And sometimes it does it automatically. Anyhow, what I do know is that it hasn't been saved yet. Otherwise, VS Code would mark this as yellow, and because VS Code is aware of GitHub, or excuse me, Git, and it would have said this is different. And you can also confirm that over here, GitHub Desktop is not expecting the differences. Unity won't see the differences either. So I'm going to hit save, Control S. Yes, I want to save the changes. This is a little bit of a clunkier experience with GitHub Copilot. I'm sure they have reasons for it, just not necessarily what I like. You can accept the changes there too. See, that's their interface. It's just kind of weird. But okay, now it's got the changes marked. I can go over to GitHub. I'll see it there. Unity will detect them. It'll pull in the changes. And now when I run, in the tool, I can do my cheats, and I can get 10,001 coins. And again, the UI doesn't change, but you see the code's running. So if I just switch it real quick, we get some extra points in there, but I can also buy my bomb. Okay, so that's it. That's the actual additional code dev experience with those two tools. You can pick whichever one you like. But now let's go and look at how we can create README files and diagrams. So I'm in Claude. I'm not in the VS Code, but I'm just in the website Claude.ai. And I'm going to go to grab from my assets directory the scripts. I'm just going to grab all the scripts, open those up, and I'm going to use my little command. I have a handy little command here. Generate a class diagram. Okay, I'm going to paste that in there and watch it do its thing. The reason why I like this experience, by the way, they used to only take 5 files. Now they take more, which is really nice. Is that it has this ability to show you in this little pop-out window here, what it's doing first off as it generates the code, but also the results. And if you're making a little JavaScript or HTML game, something that would run in a browser, you can often see that as well in this experience. In this case, it's making what's called a mermaid diagram in there. So within less than a minute, I've now got a really nice diagram that I can download. And you'll see this one's called Mermaid, new class diagram, Mermaid. I happened to do it earlier before the video, so I have 2 of them. And that's what you would see if you went and browsed my SpAIceRocks docs directory right here. This is an old one, so I need to update that one. This one I generated, again, 2 months ago when I was about done with the game. So that's great. And then I'm going to show you how I generated this little README that goes at the beginning. So go back to Claude and just jump in here and just say, hey, generate a README. And it's not text file, it's an MD file for Markdown. So paste, do that. So it knows the situation. It's got all your classes. So now it's going to make a really nice README file. And it's going to be better than the one I generated at the beginning of my project. So it talks about all the pieces, because coders are going to be interested in that. And it talks about the different aspects of it. I'll let it finish up. It's almost done. And now I would go in, I copy and paste this as well, because you can just hit the copy thing here. Go into SpAIceRocks and edit it. I put a couple of extra little things in there because people now are seeing these YouTube videos on the series. But that's essentially how you create your README as well. So there you have it. You had a chance to see a couple of different codev bots working with you, as well as how you can create diagrams and READMEs for your file. Up next, I'll be looking at AI content generation, so images, music, that kind of stuff for the game, the rest of the game. All right, thanks for your time. See you soon.